To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So I'm back at the tiny house build today, and one left. Actually, maybe, I don't know, 3/4 left. What I'm talking about is the rafters. I got one more to do. Got to put it right there. And I've already got it all cut out, the pieces. So all I got to do is assemble it using my jig here. I screwed in screws so I can just line it all up. And so everything matches up perfectly. These were my master templates, or whatever you want to call them. So I could just cut them out, you know, trace it, cut it out, trace it, cut it out. And now this one, I'll have to do like I did the first one, and it'll have to be covered with OSB and house wrap. And of course, you'll see the braces here. I'll have to put up a brace. I'll take one of these braces off and just put it on the other side. Not so much that I need it, because I have this other brace also that I've been using right there. But I don't want to drop it off the side of the building. The roof has caused me a lot of sleepless nights, because you run into things you think, oh, well, how am I going to do that? Oh, how am I going to do that? And I work through them. I mean, last night, Carolyn and I were on the internet searching diligently about fascia plates, whatever. I mean, there's a name for everything. That's the biggest problem, is I don't know the name for everything. But I got to put a 2x4 or 1x4 or whatever from one overhang to the other overhang all the way down. Well, you got to cut a bevel into that. And so I was trying to understand how all that worked. Of course, I got to put overhang here. Now, I have researched how to put overhang on this side quite a bit, got that figured out. And it's not that I didn't know that I got to do these things. It's just I'm taking everything one step at a time. I know, for example, that Carolyn and a lot of the commenters are talking about the back porch. You know, Carolyn's already wanting to buy materials for the back porch. And I'll start thinking, okay, I got to build the back porch. And I'll start thinking steps ahead. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, Carolyn. No, I don't want to think that far ahead. I just want to take it one step at a time and run into each problem one step at a time. You know, the walls were easy. I knew how to build walls. I've done that before. But all this was new to me. And so I've been, you know, having to guide myself through it and work through all the problems. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, and I don't want to get in a large debate because everybody's going to tell me, oh, you can't do that, can't do that. I mean, and that's one of the problems with being on YouTube and trying to build a house. I'm not trying to teach anybody how to build a house. I'm trying to teach everybody how to be happy and show that you can do things on a budget. But there's a thing called a bird's mouth that a lot of people think that you got to have rafters or your trusses in a bird's mouth. What I think I'm going to do, and it's not that big of a deal, I'm going to put bracing in it, so it doesn't matter, is I'm just going to lay a 2x4 right here, screwed down into the board, and then I can just drill right into it, and that'll keep it from wobbling back and forth so much. I mean, the OSB, when you put the OSB on top of the roof, that keeps it from wobbling, so it's not really necessary. And I've looked at different methods. There's just a ton of different methods. And I think that's one of the problems with the commenters is they know one method, and so that must be the only method. But you get on Google and YouTube, you can find dozens of things to do with these trusses. As I did on the first one, on the side that I'm going to use the OSB, I'm going to use these gusset plates. They're sharp spikes. On the other side, I'll continue to use my homemade gusset plates. You might be able to see them there. And I've used that throughout the whole build except on the first one. So you can see that's my homemade gusset plate. But on the first one, the OSB's got to be able to lay flat up against the 2x4s. So this allows that to happen. The other thing is I'm going to put more gusset plates. I've been doing it at every seam on my wall, right here at the corner. So I got to do that first thing. Then hang my 2x4 up and down so I don't lose my rafter and falls over and breaks this window. Okay, so I got the gusset plates on this side, the homemade gusset plates. Now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put the store-bought gusset plates on so I can put the plywood on, the OSB on after that. This is OSB. And then the house wrap. The house wrap is moisture barrier that you put around the house. So I already have the house wrap already cut up because I was able to just mirror image this side of the building. Okay, when you nail in your gusset plates, or mending plates, whatever you want to call them, make sure you have something underneath the board because you'll never get that in if this thing's bouncing. So just put a piece of, and that way it drives in real easy. These things are 98 cents a piece at Home Depot. Local hardware store has them for $1.30. It would have ran me, I think, over $200 just in gusset plates to do this assembly for all 9 rafters. Whereas I was able to do this for like, I think 50 bucks. I bought 2 sheets of plywood. Okay, so I got the gusset plates on and they're secure. Now I'm going to put the OSB on. I have some scrap here that I'm going to use. Now what I'll do is I'll cut this at an angle and then I'll be able to reverse my OSB and put it on the opposite side behind me here. And then all I got to do is fill in the center, and I got some scraps there. So just like the rest of the house, I'll nail it in every 4 inches apart with 1.5 inch roofing nails. So as you can see, I've got seams now, and I'm gonna have to put a 2x4 on the back side of that to hold up that seam. So I gotta flip it back over, put the 2x4s on, and then flip it back over again to put the house wrap on. Okay, now I'm gonna put the house wrap on. I'm gonna use plastic cap nails. They're 1 inch long. I got it all put together, the house wrap's on it. Now I just got to get it up to the wall up there. Well, there it is. The other end rafter. Now it looks like a house. Ah, man, what an accomplishment. So tomorrow I'll put on the overhang for both the end caps that I just did. So got the 9 rafters. So this morning I got a comment that has bugged me all day. It said he's got a family member who is a lawyer and they're going to sue me. Said that I am teaching people unsafe practices and that I'm teaching people to violate the law by not following code, and by not teaching you the proper way, like putting on the wrap horizontally instead of vertically, which, by the way, the manufacturing instructions told me I could do it either way, so I didn't violate anything there. But said that, you know, we're engineering rafters, making our own design, which, by the way, I didn't make my own design, I bought my own design. So having a structural engineer come and test it, make sure it's accurate. The thing is I haven't discussed anything about dimensions or anything in any depth. I mean, I did tell you my attic's 3 foot tall, but I didn't tell you the angles or anything. And I have made it very clear, I am not following code. Now here's the key, is I'm not violating any laws. So his lawyer, family member, is going to sue me because I'm violating laws. I don't have any codes to follow. This thing is under 400 square feet. And in this county, I can build any structure I want under 400 square feet without following any type of requirements. There are none. It specifically says that. I suppose they do that, just guessing, because of pole barns and different things people build for their farm animals. That's the advantages to living in areas, out in rural areas. So it concerned me for a while, but the more I thought about it, I'm not violating any laws. I'm not teaching you how to build anything. I am not a professional. I am doing this as a novice. Said that many times too. So I suppose once his lawyer family member actually looks at my county's laws, they're going to say, oh, there's no case here. It'd be a frivolous lawsuit, in which case I can sue them, I would think, to recoup my losses. Having to hire a lawyer and all that. Be aware that I am not teaching you anything other than you can do things if you really put your mind to it. You can be independent if you put your mind to it, and you can be happy. So I hope I can inspire you to be happy and think independently. Thanks for watching.